Social spending is extremely important for democracies, especially for Europe. I mean, in Europe, we spend something like close to 30% of our GDP, of national output, is spent on social services by the state. That's mainly health, pensions, and supporting poverty and unemployment. The best way of improving efficiency, I believe, is to target the spending more to poorer families. For example, we know from work done by international organizations that a lot of pensions by the state are paid to high-income families because they happen to be state employees during their lifetime. But those pensions are not funded by the contributions of those state employees, they're funded by the taxpayer. If you target that kind of spending to poorer families, the social state will be more effective. The words of welfare, basically two are the more striking ones. There's the social democratic work where you trust the state to provide services directly to families, for example, childcare services provided through subsidized childcare centers. But then there's another world of welfare that believes that welfare should be centered around the family. That's mainly the Catholic countries of Southern Europe, where the social support would be given more in the form of direct transfers, cash transfers to families, for example, in the form of a child benefit, where the mother would be taking care of the childcare services either by staying at home or having a part-time job where she goes out to work at the time that the child is in school, for example, after a certain age. The difference here is in the spending. Even advanced high-income non-European countries, United States, Canada, not to mention the Latin American countries that are at about the level of Europe, spend much less. They spend less than 20% of their GDP on social spending, when in Europe we spend something close to 30%. And the spending they do in those countries is mainly pension spending, whereas in Europe we do have elaborate support programs for social policy other than pensions. I mean, what I should say is that whether we progress with our social state and whether we maintain this European social state, social welfare, depends very much on our willingness to pay taxes, because we now have a policy of debt reduction. Debt is high. I don't think we are going to get away with any way other than paying for these services through more taxation. Now, with European voters, there is a lot of support for this social state, but there isn't much support for more taxes, and these two things cannot go together. So that's one thing that we have. I would hope that our political leaders in all the countries would make the public more aware of this connection between paying taxes and getting the social services. And the other one is to consider whether we want to have European Union-wide social services, to support some social services directly from Brussels and through contributions of different countries in Europe according to their ability to pay, and then paying out social services according to the needs that different European countries have. Of course, this would involve some kind of transfer of money between countries, and currently there isn't much support for that. But if we're going to integrate more in Europe and create a European state, a European community, we need to think about that seriously, and I hope we do.